I'm continuing my Italian Mediterranean coastal journey, traveling hundreds of miles along dramatic cliff-top roads.
This is just incredible.
From rugged, wild islands to mountainous, rustic villages.
Let's go. Like every other woman I know, she doesn't listen.
I'll be revealing the best-kept secrets of this coastline. You're gonna have to arrive in style! And of course, serving up mouth-watering, authentic food.
Look at that.
The 630-mile stretch of Mediterranean coastline is full of showstoppers, and I can't wait to share it with you. I've handpicked the places that I think showcases the very best of the Italian West Coast and its cuisine. And tonight, I'm in the toe of Italy, exploring one of the country's lesser known but very special regions, Calabria. If you were to come to Italy for the first time, probably Calabria wouldn't be on top of your list. But if you're looking for an unspoiled holiday, guys, this is the place to be. Calabria is the Italy that's off the beaten track. It's massive, it's wild, it's rocky, and I'm excited to share its rugged beauty with you. I also have happy memories of coming here when I was young, and I'm going to take you to two of my favorite spots, the seaside town of Tropea and the region's largest coastal city, Reggio Calabria. Because Calabria is huge, the best way to travel around is to hop on the train. The train line here hugs the shoreline, so you can appreciate the Calabrian coast without the stress of driving. I remember when I was a little boy with my parents, I used to come to Calabria for holidays. We used to go camping, and it pretty much looks exactly the same. It's unspoiled, very green, and it's very easy getting around, especially if you are on the train. And that's what I'm doing right now, heading to Tropea. One of the finest seaside towns in the whole of Italy, Tropea, is known as the Pearl of Calabria. Very few tourists come here. This is the coastal gem that Italians choose to visit. Crammed with history, Tropea is home to the magnificent Santa Maria dell'Isola monastery. Dating back to medieval times, it's changed over the years, including having the facade rebuilt after an earthquake in 1905. But Tropea's biggest claim to fame is it's given its name to one of Italy's finest ingredients, and I'm heading 3 miles south along the coast in search of them. Italy has many varieties of onions, but the one I want to show you is Cipolla Rossa di Tropea, the red onion from Tropea. When it comes to onions, the Tropea is the Don. It's Calabria's most famous food product and even has protected origin status in the same way Champagne does in France. And here at the Delizie Vaticane growers on the coast, these onions have been grown and harvested for over half a century. Il segreto qual è? And I'm meeting co-owner Domenico to find out what makes them so special. The reason why the onion is so sweet is because when they seed it along the coast of Calabria, where they get the wind from the sea and the sweetness from the ground. After they're harvested, the Tropea onions are hanged in these special plats called trecce. They have air and oxygen all around and no one on top of each other. So by doing like this, the onion stays freshest for longer, up to 2 months, if you actually put them somewhere that is cool. Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Posso sedere?
Certo.
Sì? These local women have all mastered the art of treccia making.
Ah, piacere Gino.
Michelina, molto lieta.
Michelina, ciao.
This is such a treat for me. I remember seeing these onions hung everywhere growing up as a child in Italy.
Deve sempre
I
girare.
have no idea what I'm doing.
È difficile. Guarda.
Platting onions is harder than it looks. It's a skill that some of these women have perfected over 40 years.
Siamo una famiglia tutti qua.
Tutti
quindi-
una famiglia?
Sì, sì, sì.
Ah, so they consider themselves as a huge family. Everybody knows everybody.
I'm used to cooking these onions, known locally as the queen of the kitchen. But these women have other
Il
ideas.
segreto più buono è mangiarla cruda?
Così,
Sì, sì, sì. No,
come una mela. She said, eat them like an apple. I don't think my wife would be very happy if I'm eating a raw onion.
Vabbè, se gli piace ti bacia lo stesso.
See?
Sì.
Oh, she said she loves you, she will kiss you anyway.
Sì.
This region is paradise for food lovers like me. As well as its famous onions, Calabria is also renowned in Italy for what is locally called red gold. And you only need to look at any market stall or shop window around here to see why. Peperoncino is the Italian red chili. No kitchen cupboard in the country is complete without it, and is now the star of an exciting new wonder food product. I'm going to a place where they make an ingredients that I guarantee will transform your cooking. I'm heading 7 miles inland up into the hills overlooking Tropea to a small holding where they use these chilies to make nduja. It's a spicy spreadable sausage that's usually enjoyed on bread, but also used to flavor dishes like pasta, and it combines the unique flavor of Calabrian chilies with the pork from locally bred pigs to make Italy's hottest new exports.
Giuseppe, secondo me la prima cosa che devo imparare
But
è
Giuseppe
come si
and his
pronuncia.
family have been making Calabrian nduja for the last 50 years.
Okay, now let's understand how do we make this nduja.
It only takes 3 ingredients: pork from their homegrown pigs, salt, and of course, chilies.
They use 2 different chili. One is like a horn, corno, and the other one, come si chiama?
3 protuberanze.
Oh, okay. It's very difficult to translate in English, but it looks like a wrinkled testicle. Really?
Oppure naso di cane, se lo vuoi chiamare in un altro modo.
Or the nose of a dog. That's what he says.
To make the nduja, Giuseppe minces the pork and chilies together.
Push, push. Look at that. Beautifully. You can see the chili is gonna kick in like there is no tomorrow here.
The meat mixture is then kneaded by hand the old-fashioned way, before mixing in salt for curing.
Obviously, nowadays they have a modern machine, but Giuseppe likes to preserve the traditional way. And I love that, actually, because I think Italian coastal escape is very much about showing the traditional way of how recipe have been made for many, many years. Okay, now we're gonna put the intestine on the fennel, just the same way you would put a sock on a foot.
Once the intestine is full, it's tied up, ready to be hung in Giuseppe's smokehouse.
Wow, this is nduja heaven. È bellissimo. And I feel like a doctor in a nduja surgery place here. So now that we have the fresh nduja made, we're gonna put it here.
The nduja is hung for between 90 and 150 days, depending on the size. Half the time in smoke, half in salty sea air, which Giuseppe believes is what makes it taste so special. And I'm trying some of his latest batch.
It's got an amazing smoking flavor going through. It's smooth. I'll tell you what, as a chef, I can tell you hundreds of recipes where I could use nduja.
I'm so inspired, I'm taking some of Giuseppe's amazing nduja and some red onions back to Tropea so I can cook al fresco.
It's so beautiful here that it's insane. And I'm going to show you a proper Mediterranean recipe. Calabrian style prawns.
Start by heating up some extra virgin olive oil in your pan and melting 6 chopped anchovies.
So that goes in there. Listen to this. That's exactly what you want to hear.
Time for the queen of the kitchen, one of those beautiful Tropea red onions.
The onions are going to give a fantastic sweet flavor, great texture, straight in.
And now for spice, some of Giuseppe's incredible artisan Duja. But if you can find it, any spicy salami can work too.
I'm going to take the skin off, and this is going to be crumbled straight into the sauce. And it's going to look amazing. The beautiful thing about this dish, the prawns are going to be sweet, and then you're going to get a kick from the chili.
To boost the salty taste of the coast, a couple of tablespoons of drained capers, then black olives.
This is looking really good, and the smell, the chili is coming through from the Giulia, the olives are getting all crispy with the onions. Okay, now is the time for the tomatoes.
Add 2 tins of chopped tomatoes for the classic Italian sauce base.
That's...
Next, for sweetness and a pop of color, I'm using defrosted frozen peas, although fresh is just as good, and some chopped flat leaf parsley.
Give it a good stir. You can see all this little bubble in the middle. In Italian, we say piopea. Piopea is when it does like that. And it resembles the volcano. So that is the kind of temperature you want under the pan.
Let your sauce bubble away for 10 minutes, and that's it.
This is going to be incredible. Oh, yes.
Now you have rolled out your red carpet, it's time for the seafood royalty, king prawns.
Just pick them up and it goes straight into the sauce. And make sure that they never peeled, because when you peel prawns, they cook very fast and they get very dry and chewy. If you leave the head and the tail and all the shell on, the moisture keeps there and the color is going to be just beautiful.
Cover the prawns slightly with the sauce and cook for around 6 minutes, turning them halfway through, and ecco qua.
This is looking good.
Spoon some of the smoky, spicy tomato sauce into a bowl.
Now, I'm just going to pile the prawns on top. See? Beautiful.
Finish with extra virgin olive oil and hunks of freshly toasted ciabatta.
And I'm going to serve it with a nice bottle of Verdicchio dei Castelli. This wine is very clean and refreshing, and it's going to work magnificent with the sweetness of the prawns. Beautiful color as well, look at that. Okay, let's do this. You know what, guys? This, to me, is the ultimate comfort food. Prawns, Calabrian style. Salute.
With these mind-blowing prawns, an iconic coastal backdrop, my Calabrian journey is coming along a treat, and there is still the verdant valleys of the south to explore. Tonight, I'm in the tip of Italy's boots, Calabria, the country's diamond in the rough, exploring the rocky coastline and uncovering its world-class produce. And I'm heading further south to the region's largest city, Reggio Calabria, separated from the island of Sicily by the Strait of Messina. Reggio Calabria has a population of just 200,000 people, a fraction of the size of Rome. It's also home to a magnificently eclectic cathedral and glorious promenade where the goddess Athena stands and guards the city. But this area is most famous in Italy for fruit that is both exotic and enigmatic, known as the bergamot. And I'm heading a couple of miles inland from the city to a tiny place called Contrada Limbone to find out more about this unusual but versatile fruit.
Dimmi un po' le origini del bergamotto, com'è nata sta storia?
Guarda, come origine un po' incerta.
Francesco's family has been growing bergamot for the last 50 years. Now, I know bergamot has the flavor of Earl Grey tea, but I had no idea it has been grown in my home country for over 200 years.
It happens around 1750, and they're not sure if it was Christophorus Columbus who brought it here or Chinese people.
Bergamots are mainly used as an essential oil in the perfume industry. And because Calabria is the most prolific producer of these fruits, 90% of the world's bergamot comes from right here. And it's thanks to the perfect growing conditions here that bergamot does so well.
Being in a valley, you have a lot of minerals and loads of goodness in the soil, which helps the bergamot to be the one from Reggio Calabria, to be what he says, the best in Italy.
Now, what I want to know is how I can use these fine bergamots in my cooking.
Non è né un limone né un arancio.
Né un limone né un arancio.
No, è un'altra agruma.
See, I knew it. I said, look, I can really understand. Is he a lemon or is he an orange? And the answer was, it's not one or the other. It's something that nobody knows. Mo fa assaggiare sul bergamotto. Come
Dobbiamo
on,
raccoglierlo.
let's go and taste. Let's go and taste the bergamot.
Francesco doesn't know what it is, but I know my taste buds. So it's time to try this alien fruit for myself.
Interesting flavor. Slightly bitter. This is good. Questo è buonissimo.
And it's not just the juice that Francesco wants me to try. Next is his bergamot tea.
È buono, ma io preferisco quell'altro. Lo so. Yeah, I prefer the other one. I mean, it's good. I think if you're a tea drinker, this will be up your street.
And now bergamot preserve with a kick of ginger.
Wow, this is good. A bitter orange marmalade. This is definitely something I'm going to start to use in cooking. Okay. Look over there. See the fly? Look at the fly over there. See? So,
Fly.
and
I've also got my eye on this bergamot syrup.
tasting all of that, I know exactly what I'm going to get from this. And lo posso pigliare questo?
Certo, è tuo.
Yeah? I got the authorization to take this one with me, as well as the marmalade. So, grazie.
Prego.
All right, ci vediamo più
Ci
tardi.
vediamo dopo.
I'm going to go do some cooking.
Ok.
Inspired by Calabria's most exotic fruit and this stunning mountain backdrop, I'm going to create the perfect dessert to celebrate the Mediterranean summer.
I'm going to show you how to prepare gelatina di frutta fresca, which is fresh fruit jelly with Prosecco. Now, everybody always panic when they have to prepare jellies. My one is easy, colorful, and absolutely fantastic if you have guests around, because we're going to serve them in these martini glasses, so they're going to be really, really cold.
Our first ingredient for some Italian summertime feast, lemonade.
Put a half into the saucepan and let it bubble gently. As soon as you see some bubbles, the job is done. Then I got a bottle of Prosecco. Got a good quality Prosecco. Remember, if you get a Prosecco that is not very good, your jellies are going to suffer, all right? So make sure you open at the last minutes. Okay, so this is what's happened when your bottle of Prosecco is too hot. Make sure it's cooler.
Important advice there. Next, we have some sheets of gelatin which I've softened in cold water.
Looks like a big jellyfish. In there straight away.
Stir the gelatin into the hot lemonade until it's completely dissolved. Next, for the Calabrian citrus zing, the bergamot syrup.
Now, if you can't find the bergamot syrup, you can use lemon syrup or orange syrup. It's absolutely fine. That's it. Now mix everything together, guys, and let it rest. Now is the time to fill the glasses with the fruits.
You can use any fruit you like. I'm using seasonal summer strawberries and a crisp Granny Smith apple, which I chopped and soaked in lemon juice to stop it going brown.
This is gonna look so good and sexy. Then we do exactly the same thing with the strawberries. Okay, at this point, you get your mixture, okay? And you just fill up the glasses. Make sure that they equal when you fill up, otherwise your guests are gonna start to fight. I think the secret of making jellies is to make sure that they look good, like this one.
Now, Prosecco time!
obviously I got half of the bottle because the other half is equally spread on my cooking table. The only thing you have to do, just fill up the glasses half centimeter from the top. Nice.
Give your jellies a little stir and pop them in the fridge for 3 hours. Just enough time for me to watch my favorite film. It turns out revenge isn't the only dish best served cold.
I love that movie. Now, 3 hours have gone by, and look what's happening here. Wobbly, 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 wobbly. That's what you want when you get a good jelly.
Now for an offer you really can't refuse, a fresh, silky topping of whipped cream and mascarpone cheese.
So, put in there, and slowly, slowly work the mascarpone into the cream.
Flavor your cream mixture with vanilla seeds or vanilla extract and spoon onto each of your fruity Prosecco jellies.
I got some bergamot, candied peel, and fresh mint leaves. Nice and beautiful. Look at that. Huh?
My refreshing Prosecco jelly with a surprise citrus twist sums up the unspoiled Mediterranean coast perfectly. Next time I go island hopping off Sicily.
I love it.
Searching for the ultimate Italian coastal ingredients. To star in this fantastic feast.
Look at that. Absolutely beautiful.
Capture the essence of Italy's beautiful coastline and learn to cook and eat like an Italian in no time with Gino's new cookbook, Gino's Italian Coastal Escape.